Hey everybody, it's Jeremy. Welcome back to EA Tetragrammaton, where we are playing This is turn 87. Did I spook you, OD? I won't give you. OD boy. Okay, let's jump into things. We have completed Thaumaturgy 6. Nice. Hollow has successfully empowered himself in blood. Cool. Gala has been attacked by brass horrors. This is one of our galas that we had making bags of wine. So just took a loss there. Summoned some more Kusarikus. We've got a okay, so we've been summoning multiple Kusarikus for a long time now, and finally one of the Gudus gets hit by a Gortide horde. Watch this. So actually have a fair amount of Kusarikus here. And initially, this is so sad, right? Initially, they get a barrage of attacks on it. But unfortunately, it just heals so much. And after being attacked by it, right? If you don't kind of like kill it in that initial barrage, it's extremely unlikely between things like mind slime or whatever it is that you get afflicted with. Are they not actually getting hit with? Looks like they are. Attack skill. Yeah, slimed, slowed. So their stats are constantly being tanked, so outside of that initial barrage, it's very unlikely that the Kusarikus are going to drop a Gortide, which is just really unfortunate, you know? So, this is Gudu 49. Is Zagon. He didn't use any of his Earth Gems there. It's weird. So, he's been summoning Kusarikus for us for a while. Unfortunately, lost that now. We get more Blood Slaves in Tesiphon, and Nazar II, of course, has been attacked. Let's see what we're up against. A Defiler of Dreams. Wonderful. Okay, so Defiler of Dreams is dangerous in the fact that it has life drain, so it can continuously heal itself. It has Astral Claws, which horror marks, so these are all piercing. It's ethereal and invisible, so it's very hard to hit, and it has damage reversal, so even if you are going to hit it, it might just hurt you. So, let's see how this turns out. Yeah, that's such a cool animation. Kusarikus come in, it starts swinging, and they chunk it immediately, and then, you know, it just life drains back up. So difficult to deal with. But, actually, Nazar II never even has to get involved, because the Kusarikus do get a couple of nice heavy hits in and drop it. Fantastic. All right, we've got a couple of battles. We got a battle in Swande between Ishib 19 and looks to be like just a bunch of slaves. Liquid Body, Moss Body, Bark Skin, Quicken Self, and a go. And he's gonna just smoke these slaves, but there are a couple of other units in here. Nothing that I'm super scared about, though. Nice. Nicely done, Ishib 19. Very good. Got another battle in Bakar between Isham 1 and... Ooh, we've got some imps back there. Strength of Gaia goes up. You gonna get the Iron Skin off? He got the Iron Skin off. Nice. He's not gonna get the Temper Flesh off. No way. He got that Temper Flesh. Where are those imps? Did the imps just leave? I think the imps just left. Oh, do they not have magic leadership? I don't think they have magic leadership. Yeah, I think they don't have magic leadership. That's kind of funny. Because the imps might have... I don't think they would have killed Isham 1, but they might have complicated things. As it is, Isham 1 is able to get off all of his stuff and Shrek. .33 protection. Not bad. It's not bad at all. Cool. Alright, Isham 1 done. And we have a battle in Trottern. And this is against those vampires. Of course, I think this is kind of dumb, right? I don't see how this... We anticipated this, right? I figured it was going to happen. But I don't see how this equates as enough to trigger gem usage, right? There is nothing here that even has spell levels. There's not enough HP here to really matter for anything. It's like they're weighing the fact that these are like immortals or that they have regeneration or invulnerability or something like that as like super mega awesome when it's not. So this is going to be pretty simple, but it is going to be gem usage. So we get all the different stuff. Vampires come down. The majority of the vampires come down right next to our front line, and then the Vampire Lord comes down next to our Yetis. And then in a matter of moments, everything is basically obliterated. We've got Fog Warriors up. We've got everything up, basically. Light of the Northern Star, Foul Vapors, Natural Storm, Relief, Serpent's Blessing is in here. We've got Will of the Fates in here. We've got fucking whatchamacallit in here. I probably should have come in here and just offloaded all the gems. But here's the other thing is I'm rolling in gems and I have a bunch of spare carriers. So like I said, we knew that this was probably going to happen. No big deal. And the regeneration takes care of most things. We did lose 2 Enkidu Spear Guards. I'm assuming we actually lost those Spear Guards to Thunderstrike spam. Or to, actually more than likely, probably lost them to Yetis throwing things. So, whatever. We have a couple of events. Local lords are feuding in Rim Mountains. Got a witch being caught in Wick Forest. We've got the deadly disease continues in Troll Peaks. That province is basically going to be obliterated. Troops patrolling in Silverfangs. And, surprisingly, our troops in Trottern are starving. That fucking sucks. Okay, so let's take a look at that immediately. Wow, the population in Trottern is 1,000. So I assumed that this army was going to be fine because, you know, 80-something turns in the game, unless I step on a swamp or a wasteland, I assume that supplies are going to be at least 125, especially next to someone's fucking capital, right? In a growth 3 dominion next to someone's capital. But my assumption is as Mictlan, he's just blood hunted his land down to nothingness. You look at Swande, it's almost nothing. I'm assuming Arcadus is almost nothing. Murius is only at 4k. Range of Shadow is at 2k. So that's kind of rough. That's kind of rough. So, here's that's unfortunate. Starvation is a pain in the ass. Here is the slight upside to starvation, or slight upside to the scenario. So for my mages, this is actually not. super bad example. He's got a wound. He's got battle frag. He'll route, but whatever. Most of my mages are going to be fine. Let's take a look at my units, right? Well, here's the thing. Actually, this is a pretty veteran army. This army's been fighting for a long time. Most of these guys have many experienced chevrons. And their morale is actually okay. This guy's not starving though, so let's see if we can find someone who actually is starving. Okay, so this guy is starving, right? So starvation. But he's still got morale 14, even at -4 from starving and -1 from hostile dominion. He's got pretty decent morale, partially because my NCs are great leaders. They got Inspirational 2, and they've got Horn of Valor, so that kind of helps counteract things. So, starvation, bad. Not the absolute worst scenario ever. We are going to go ahead and attack Mictlan. And we are going to bring up behind us 2 bags of wine in an effort to hopefully help mitigate some of the stuff if we can get the people there. Might not be able to. Ooh, ow. So we are going to move on to Mictlan this turn with our big army. Again, I've already thrown this out there. This might be a suicide mission. Right now, Mictlan is still in that scenario of not really taking turns, occasionally taking turns. My assumption is if they take a turn, we're gonna have hell to pay, but we'll see. We've got some issues. So one of the issues is that we don't have great defenses against things like fire, right? We do have Warriors of Niflheim coming out. That's about it. Do I have... It's actually really important. I've got... Where I have... Yeah, someone's got Thunderfin. Someone's doing, yeah, there we go, Thunderfin. Thunderfin and Arrowfin. Okay, so, you know, if someone comes out with really high evocations, fire evocations, or lightning evocations, shock evocations, we're probably going to run into some issue there. It is what it is, can't really do much about it. If he starts doing things like, if he tries to fear bomb us, basically, morale bomb us, with the fact that we are starving, he does like Blood Rain and Wailing Winds, that's going to be pretty bad. Otherwise, if he has someone that's super stacked, like a super combatant, I don't think we will win. We've seen this army go up against someone, and because we don't have penetration or super combatant killers, it's most likely that this army would just die to that. So there's that. So we've got issues, right? This is a problem, and this army could very well die. But I'm relatively hopeful in the concept that, again, Mictlan hasn't really been playing very much. Hopefully, this army doesn't really, get any reinforcements, isn't scripted well, blah 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 blah. And hopefully we can just come in and blast it. Fingers crossed. If that doesn't work, whatever, right? Like, I'm kind of at the point on Tetragrammaton, like, this has been a fun game. I've had a blast with it. And I think I can get back into it. But if I can't get Astral Corruption down, I just don't care anymore. Like, whatever. So we're going to do our best to target Mictlan and try to burn down his capital. There is a huge goat sun here, so that's one demon lord. There's sometimes an Onaki can be seen flying over the camp, so that's at least one Onaki, probably not very many more. Probably going to be mostly, we can see mostly Jaguar warriors and Ozelotls. I'm assuming mostly Ozelotls, which is dangerous, super dangerous, by the way. And then there's his god, Ozzy Osbourne, the Smoking Mirror. And his god is who I'm assuming is probably going to be the one who has astral corruption up. As well as the blood vortex, but I care about that less. I'm actually curious as to whether or not his capital is fucked, as far as population goes as well. Because blood vortex, oh, actually, that's a good point. Blood vortex doesn't drain the province that it's in. It drains the surrounding provinces, right? So I bet that's why Trottern and Swande are super bad. I bet Arcadis, Sinafe, and High Woods are super bad as well. Because he's had blood vortex up for a long time, right? When no other life is left in the world around the vortex, it dries out and dies. Cool. Alright. So, we're going to attack Mictlan. We're going to see how that goes. We're also attacking in Forest of Long Nights, and we're attacking in Arcadis, just to kind of continue the push. And we're doing some daisy chain movements of Elders. Just because. Because why not, right? It's just honestly something for me to do. It's not something that I really care too terribly much about. We've seen the effect of having Elders with defense 19/20. I wish it just went up to 20, right? It'd be so nice if it didn't cap at 19. If it capped at 20, so you didn't have to spend that last tick of 20 gold. Regardless, these are just daisy chains of Elders. We're continuing to try to resupply the Kailasan front with some more crystal sorceresses. We want to try to get up to about 16 or so. I think we're sitting at 13 right now. We've got one here in Titan's Breath that is heading to Belagor, and then we'll pop over. So we're doing a 1, 2, 3 turn jump. So not too bad. Not too bad at all. We continue to... we took Holy See last turn. We're going to try to take the Faraway, or Faraway, whichever, Sea this turn. Again, with our little living water casters. Very cool, very cool. I'm considering reaching out to Lanka. So part of the thing is, right, is you work with people, you touch base with people continuously, and it's having open alliances, it's having open negotiations. They're less likely to come stab you in the fucking back. So if I reach out to Lanka, I know Lanka has been frisky with Relay for a long time. I reach out to them and say, hey, I can start hitting Relay and hopefully take some heat off of you, and then you can push in and I can push in. Okay, get rid of Relay, right? They might be interested in doing that, and if they are interested in doing that, keeps them in open cooperation with me. I don't want Lanka. I'm scared of Lanka. I don't want Lanka to come like send 50,000 thugs in just flying about in my land, which is what I am anticipating. So we're hitting far away. That should be the end of Pangaea. We are continuing to ferry troops towards Silverfangs. So we've got a small contingent here that is now patrolling, and we're burning down a fair amount of unrest each turn now. So that's good. Hopefully we will make it down to a reasonable level pretty soon. Fingers crossed. And then we are hitting Jabal Kish this turn. So this is another place where supply usage is somewhat concerning. We've got 167 here. We've got 64 here. We've got some endless bags of wine here as well. But I should take that off of him and him. Yeah. And then we've also got Gudu 66 and Isham 13 that are coming in with another 2 endless bags of wine. So this is going to bring this down to 67, and this will be 64. So we'll be just over 120, sitting at about 130-ish, which might be more than Javalkish has. However, it shouldn't be that big of a deal. Fingers crossed. Hopefully we are able to win the battle easily enough and then just disperse our units back to where they need to be, probably partially to Trackless Wastes and partially back into Arena or whatever. We don't want to leave a large army on the border with Lanka. We're not trying to like spook them or anything like that. We'll take Javalkish. Should be relatively simple. We've got everything going in this army that we do everywhere else, all the normal type stuff. Slightly different setup, and we've got a whole bunch of Pegasus Riders, which isn't a really big thing. Like, we don't have a crazy bless for them to really take advantage of. Pegasus Riders can be somewhat killy if you get them and you have like like a Michelin bless, like an Ocelotl bless. They can be interesting, but I mean, we've got hard skin regeneration, so yeah, that's not really gonna matter too terribly much. I mean, we do have magic weapons, so that is helpful. So we are actually going to try to buff these guys. We've got a couple of... I need this to be Legions of Steel. So we've got a couple of Earth Gurus that are going to be in here that are going to be doing things like Legions of Steel and Strength of Giants to make them hit quite a bit harder. And we've got a couple over here that are doing that as well. So combined, this army is actually pretty big. This army, I think, combined is going to be bigger than the Pangean army, than the Michelin army. But the Michelin army it's a veteran army, right? This is a green army. This has no real experienced chevrons or anything like that. Straight out the gate, yada yada. We'll see how it goes. I do not anticipate this being a terribly difficult fight. It is just a throne, but we'll see how it goes. After that, there's not really a whole lot going on this turn, truth be told. Again, our research scenarios are relatively whatever. Actually, I think I'm gonna have 283 start doing Kusarikus, because I just kind of want to keep doing Kusarikus forever. We are recruiting everywhere. Our income is up to 6k. We've got a fucking lot of money. Pretty much every turn we are recruiting pretty much everywhere we can. More Gudus, more Spear Guard, more Gudus, more Spear Guard, and Ishib, some Spear Guard. We're actually going to try to start getting Ishibs everywhere. We want Preachers, right? So we want to start using that in order to push our... And this is all in anticipation of hopefully getting Astral Corruption down and being able to put... Gift of Health back up, that type of stuff, etc. So we want to start pushing our Dominion as much as we can. If we get Astral Corruption down. The last 10 turns or so have been very slow. If we get Astral Corruption down, there is going to be an explosion of activity. Not in offense against anybody, right? Unless we do go in with Lanka against Relay. Not in, generally speaking, not in offense against anybody, but rather in relighting the forges, basically. Like, we are going to go through a flurry of activity of making hammers, setting up consistent forging of gear every single turn, putting up things like Mother Oak, putting up things like a Gift of Health, fishing for other things, right? Like, we're going potentially for Galegate. We might try to grab Eternal Pyre, turning on the Tartarians, Gift of Naming the Tartarians every single turn. Rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. So, if that turns out, we're gonna be back on track to do the things that we were planning to do this entire time. Astral Corruption really fucked us. But I don't know that's gonna matter, right? Depending on, and I hate to say this, but I kind of need to slow the game down because I do not have good answers to the things that Lanka can do or the things that Hinam can do. Relay, I'm less concerned about. Watch Relay just crawl their ass out of the fucking ocean and just come destroy us. But as of right now, I'm less concerned about Relay, and I'm more concerned about Lanka and Hinam, specifically about the crazy shit that they can do with things like their Grigories and their late game blood summons, right? Because they have been able to do those things. I have not, right? I have not been able to do my answers because of Astral Corruption. Now, I know Hinam has been taking a beating from Astral Corruption just as much as I have, but Lanka, I think, has been relatively untouched. Lanka has been kind of cruising at the ready. They've been able to take over Femoria with relative ease, and as much as Lanka is significantly smaller than either Hinam or I think they are just as fucking dangerous, if not way more dangerous than I am. I am a big old teddy bear right now. Like, I look big. Yeah, sure, I'm big. And I've got some chunk armies here or there. But I don't have a lot of weight to throw around. I don't have a lot of ability to counter raid well, and especially anything that I can do really has to be a scenario of after Astral Corruption. So we're gonna have to see how that goes. Everything else is relatively normal. Owl Quills, Lightless Lanterns, summons Kusarikus, waiting. We don't want to risk Leper Love or Camel. Our god, once more, into the breach. Please, Kusarikus. Oh, no, sorry. This Kusarikus live yet again. Yeah, I forgot we outfitted him with something other than fucking Rings of Warning because they just weren't doing anything for him. So, and Hollow is blood hunting. We have blood 7, right? We could do Curse of the Blood right now, but we need more blood slaves. So we're gonna try to blood hunt. Hopefully we get a bunch of blood slaves this turn, plus our natural 8. That natural 8 would put us up to 48. We would still need 29 from 2 blood hunters, which is unlikely in a single turn. We got 9 from 1 this turn. So it's probably going to take 2 or 3 turns before we get up to the number of blood slaves that we need to do a Vampire Lord, repeat, another Vampire Lord, let's repeat, until we actually have an active blood hunting economy. It's just a bootstrap way to get in. I could be doing this again. I've talked about this I could be doing this with my... I could and probably should be doing this with my Enkidu Elders, where I just have every Elder that I have is just blood hunting, right? Because their success chance is going to be so low. I'm somewhat concerned about doing that, though, because while their success rate is going to be so low, even a little bit of unrest ticking up in your provinces every single turn, we are relying so much on income right now, so I'm hesitant to fuck that over. Even if it's just like 200 or 300 per turn, I'm hesitant to actually screw with that. All right, that's pretty much it for the turn. Fingers crossed. I really hope. Man, I don't know what a good option against astral corruption. Well, I say that in the future, a good alternative against astral corruption is just I've had the worst astral game that I think I've ever had on any nation, whether they're an astral nation or not. I still only have 18 pearls per turn. Everything else is like 20 plus. Is crazy. Is crazy. Like I don't know what to say. So that's gonna be it for this game. I'll see you all next time. Bye, everybody.